I loved the country music. Don't kill me, writer. Welcome back to Savvy Talk. Today I'm here with my mom, who's going to be interviewing me. Oh, no, don't do it with me. No. Really? Just kidding.
Okay, so clearly I've known you your entire life, duh. But not everybody, like your public, doesn't really know you all that well. So I kind of want to take them back down memory lane. Ooh. I know, cheesy, right? You always tell me I am. Anyways, so I was thinking about it, and honestly, you landing in front of a camera is not like foreign to you at all. Obviously, like you first started out when you were a year and a half. I remember accidentally putting you into a national level pageant. I had no idea about pageants. It was also the time when they had all those like crazy pageants where there was like spray tans and flippers and all that weird stuff. That is not what I entered her in. I wanted her to get some skills about like interviewing and being up in front of people and being comfortable with it, because they say that's everybody's like worst fear is to speak in front of people. And I wanted you as my child to be comfortable with that. Was a language arts teacher, so I saw kids get really scared when they'd have to come up and do speeches, and you were very natural at it. So we started doing natural pageants, and it was your thing. So I don't know that you'll fully remember the experience of it, but maybe you can talk a little bit about anything that you do remember doing pageantry.
I just remember there was this one specific song that I sang to the crowd. It was called At Last. And I remember practicing it with you when we still lived at the Kaiser house. And I would sing on the microphone that would like echo, back in all the 2000 kids.
It was a Hello Kitty one because you were obsessed with Hello Kitty.
Mm-hmm. And I would sing into it and I'd practice my At Last. And I think that was probably my favorite pageant. Like looking back on it, like I don't think there's a recording, or if there is a recording, I've never seen it. But I remember that so specifically that like nobody would have to like tell me about it for me to remember. Like that's what I remember from pageants. And then I do also remember the pageant that I did in 4th grade when I had short hair.
Okay.
And that was a really fun pageant. I think it was really nice to be re-entered back into where I came from. Mm-hmm. And I felt super confident and like comfortable in my own skin. Like I always do feel super confident, especially in like the pageant settings. So I'm really happy that you got me into that. Definitely got me like as open and like good in front of people as I am today. So
I think it was really cool. You had like a crazy following. That first time that you did one, definitely the pageant world has some people that are parents that are a little bit intense, I guess would probably be the word for it. But because I remember that first pageant right out of the chute, because it was a national one and I didn't know I'd put you in a national one and you won the whole thing. It didn't make everybody super happy that was in your category.
Right.
But we developed a lot of family from that. And that's one thing I intensely remember. And still to this date, those people that they call them pageant sisters, have stayed our pageant sisters like all of this time. They still like follow what you do. We still support one another when we can. That's kind of like one of the really cool takeaways from it. But I also remember you getting to have like interview skills when you were like 3 years old. Yeah, and the pageant you were talking about was International Junior Miss.
Yes.
That was the one that you sang at because they had the category where you would do a talent. Mm-hmm. And what I think I loved was how confident you were, like belting out the words to this like old style song. And like literally we watched kid after kid after kid, because Frozen was so popular at the time, sing, "Do you want to build a snowman?" And then you come out singing.
I think it was Let It Go. Had to be Let It Go.
Was it? Maybe it was. I don't know. I have to let it go. Anyways, um, but yeah, I know I made myself laugh. Um, anyways, yeah, but it was just like you singing At Last. The judges weren't prepared for that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really fun to costume for that.
Yeah.
But you just had this presence on the stage. You were so comfortable up there. And that's what was so cool to see you in your element. And you could memorize things so well. Like you would memorize these large chunks of just information. Yeah. And be able to say it because you had to be able to do that up in front of a crowd. And you enjoyed it, genuinely enjoyed it, which got you into, then after that, you got into modeling for a period of time. Mm-hmm. We only wanted you to do that to basically start you out with a bank account towards college or whatever avenue you might go.
Right.
But you were able to join Pedaltown Talent up in Portland, and you got to do modeling for Fred Meyer and for Target. And I don't know if you remember a whole heck of a lot of that either, because you were quite young during that. It was like ages 2, 3, 4, I think.
No, I really don't remember.
Yeah, we had to go on go-sees, and you were they called you a very commercial kid, meaning like you just had that kind of personality and that big smile and natural energy. And it was nice to get the feedback that people wanted to work with you because you were a happy kid, which also was a little bit of eye-opening for me as a parent, because I was like, so wait, are there unhappy kids that do this? And they're like, yeah, vast majority are not happy to be on set. And your child we like to work with, she loves it. And clearly she wants her photograph taken. You were such a ham. Total ham.
What does like that mean?
Like a jokester. Sorry. I'm using an old word apparently. I don't know. Was that old? After your time spent doing some pageants and modeling and everything, went the route of sports. You did a lot of different sports. Tell me what you remember about all the different types of sports we tried you in.
I'm pretty sure, honestly, this is kind of an ongoing joke with my friends about what sport I haven't tried. Because, like, sure, I'm only, like, experienced, like, I'd say I'm experienced in volleyball and cheer, obviously, but I wouldn't say I'm experienced in much else. But I've tried everything under the sun. I do remember getting started out at cheer around the same age as pageantry, which was, I was about 4, I would like to say. I started out, I wasn't 3. I was 4.
Okay.
I promise. Because it was, I guess it was before Shauna. Never mind. You're right. Sorry. So I was about 3, about the same time as the pageantry. I just remember trying cheer and flying and basing, and I just loved it so much. Like, it just became a part of who I was also, like, just my personality. I have a pretty big personality, people like to say. And I think that kind of came from like my childhood and doing that, like doing the cheer. And we started out at Athletic Edge, which is now just gymnastics, but that's where I started out cheer. You coached there. And then I want to say I had to take a little break from cheer for a time. But then I tried things like I tried soccer camps. I was really into soccer for a minute. I did try volleyball camps before I fully got into it.
Wow, you had the interesting experience at one of them.
Tried basketball camps. Found out that was not the sport for savvy. And then, what else? Oh, I also did flag football.
I did remember basketball camps. You did basketball camp?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I did basketball camps at Tualatin.
Oh.
In the rec center. I probably did I don't know, probably 4 of them. Yeah.
Do you remember hockey?
I do. We were, me and Ryder, we were just talking about that. So I said, hey, we should go on an ice skating date. And he was like, do you even know how to ice skate? Yes. I was like, yes. I was in lessons for so long.
You were a really good ice skater and going
really
to be
good
a really
ice
good
skater.
Hockey player until, do you remember why?
Because I thought the figure skates were way cuter. Duh. I mean, you got the cheerleader and hockey skates. What? I mean, yes, I'm super aggressive. When it comes to a sport, I take it seriously. I got this. I'm competitive. What the heck?
Did you hit your eye on the microphone?
No, I went.
Oh, you went.
Like, I'm super competitive and I'm super, like, about the game. But when I see, like, something pretty, I just, what girl doesn't want to get pretty, you know? Like, the pretty skates are better, you know? Yeah. So I think I made it to, they had levels and they were like, I'd say 10 levels. I was probably only in level 5, though, before. Because
For what?
for ice skating?
No, there wasn't levels for that. There was in gymnastics. You were in gymnastics.
No, there was levels in ice skating because you had to
Nice.
pass all the levels to go into hockey.
I know
'Cause
you were doing
decided your pathway?
backward skating.
I was. Yep, I was already doing spins and stuff too. But anyway,
There wasn't spins because you were hockey. You
When-
would have liked to do spins, probably,
when
'cause
I
you
got
were-
when I got my actual skates, like when I got the figure skates, I started spinning, then we quit. Remember?
You didn't get figure skates.
Yes, I did. Michael bought them for me. They were
No.
white. They were white and they had pink on them.
Oh, goodness gracious.
What do we disagree about the most?
Oh, wow. I don't know.
Bring up a topic and I'll.
I think we're just both stubborn. So it could literally be about anything that we could disagree about if we're passionate about it or if we have like a very consistent memory in our own mind.
Mm-hmm.
We'll argue about that.
Yeah, 100%. I don't see a topic that we don't completely like. We don't see eye to eye on everything, but I feel like for the most part, we don't have any arguments on specific things. I think
maybe it's the way we
ethic,
approach, and how we approach certain things.
I'm gonna go work ethic because I feel like you take things on super like headstrong, like you get it done right away, and I'm more like mellow, like let's get through this, but it needs to be step by step. And you're more like direct to the point, like let's get to it, let's make a change right away. And I'm like, okay, let's calm down and slow down before we can even make one change.
Well, and I think you operate super well procrastinating, and that drives me nuts. So that's probably what we argue about the most, because I'm like,
work
let's
better
do it right now.
I work better under pressure for sure. Like in school situations, this isn't great, but I always do pretty good in English, but I usually wait until the last second to write my essay. But then that essay always ends up turning out better than the essay that I spent 3 weeks on, which doesn't normally, no, I promise, it doesn't normally happen. It's a pretty weird phenomenon. You would think if you spent more time and like cared about it, edited it, revised it, it would be better. But I write better under pressure. That's just me. There's where we don't see eye to eye because you're an English teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go, folks. There you go. My papa was a very special person to me. Obviously, I did lose him when I was young, so sometimes it's really hard now that I'm getting older to just kind of like remember those things and go back on memories for sure. But I do remember him just being an amazing person. Like genuinely, he took care of everyone, and that was his goal in life. And he was such a good mentor to you, and he was automatically a good mentor to me because he loved the heck out of me, spoiled me more than
you were such his favorite.
Spoiled me more than even imaginable. And I miss him. I really do miss him, and every time I see a blue jay, like I remember that. That's another thing that you would never have to remind me for me to know. Like I've known since I was 4 years old when we did end up losing him, that when I pass away, I will become a blue jay. That was one of the last things that he said to me. And I remember that now every time I pass a blue jay or anything that reminds me of him, like immediately just I think of my papa, because he was the one who took care of me when I was little. And I think I just think back to that moment where I still had him, and I think at times it'd be so much easier if I could just talk to him about some things that I know I can't talk to other people about, because he would be able to guide me in a way that other people can't at this moment. But like, I mean, I don't know. I guess I didn't know him long enough to see how he would manage things, but I just know, like, the bottom of my heart that he would take care of it and help me through things. So, yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't do any wrong in his eyes, so I know he'd be super proud of you. And yeah, there's a lot of times, like, with all the things that you're accomplishing. And I would say when we were asked to, one of the things that we sometimes have discrepancies or whatever about, I think sometimes it's that push because
we're both stubborn from him.
Well, no, I know how strong your guys' relationship was. And I think about, like, if he were here, what would he be doing? And so I feel almost like this sense of responsibility to push you in the same way.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes causes problems for us because maybe I just get real tunnel vision, and I'm sorry if I do that. But
It's okay.
like, I want to honor him, and I also want him to continue to just like to see from up above like how much that you're doing.
That was another super like developmental thing for me, because I do better with like, this is really bad to say, but I do better with like a strong male perspective. So like when I have a male coach or I have a male leader, I always do better, because it's not necessarily respecting. I'll always respect someone who's older than me most of the time. Just kidding. I'll always respect someone who's older than me, but I think because he created such like a strong male role that I respected so much, that's just kind of carried with me. It's like you listen to the man who orders you to do something. So it just like that directness just like really gets to me, and I feel like pushes me because I'm trying to prove something. I don't really need to say more. I feel like that kind of says the message that I'm trying to give without me having to say it. But yeah. I feel like I push so much harder when I feel that like direct assertiveness from a male perspective instead of a female, because sometimes I get a little bit more emotional, because I feel like, I'm just gonna say it, girls are more emotional than males. So sure. Like when somebody has like even just like an off tone with me, I just like I get more hurt by it. And with guys, they're just so direct, like you better get this bleep done and figure it out. And then a girl will tell me everything that I'm doing right and then get to the wrong, and that's just not how I work. I don't move around the point. I like being super direct to the point. And I think that's kind of comes from Papa, and like growing up with that, he was pretty direct. Like he was really good with me. Like I think I got in trouble probably a sheer 3 times, but like
not with him. No. I think I got in trouble for stuff you did, because you were the perfect child, perfect first grandchild.
I still am the perfect child.
You're a pretty good kid, yes. But I also think too that like at least this is one of the things I felt like as a daughter, and I think he did this for you too, was that like even though it was direct, like you're saying, it was somebody that had like such a belief in you that like it made you feel willing to receive whatever he was going to say, because he was like that with me too. It was like I knew he believed in me, so I was okay with so
the harsh love.
I'm glad you had the time that you had with him. I wish it was longer. That's for sure.
Me too. So I have 2 different siblings. They're very, very different. I have a brother named Titan and a sister named Journey. I've talked a little bit about in previous podcasts Journey and some complications I have with her, but I've always had a really good relationship with my sister. We're super, super close, but obviously she's nonverbal, so we can't have like normal communications that I can have like with my brother and stuff. So it's very different. Like I love them both the same amount, obviously. Like you love everyone the same, like in your family. But for sure I have pretty strong relationships with my siblings. I'm really grateful for that, because I know a lot of people don't have as good relationships with their siblings, and I feel like I really do. Like my siblings, they love me to the ends of the earth. I can do no wrong.
They both worship the ground you walk on.
In either of those. I feel like sometimes I'm a little tough on them, which is just a little, I guess it's a little tough love that I received, and that's kind of how like I love people. I'm trying to ease up on it a little bit, because I mean,
when you have how much of an age gap with both of your siblings?
I was an only child until I was 8, and because I only lived part-time with my dad, I was really an only child till I was about 10, because that's when Journey was born. But it was a lot different dynamic, because like stereotypical only child, they get all the attention, they get, I wouldn't say everything they want, but that's pretty dang close to everything I wanted. And then I think you made this analogy when Journey was first born. You said Journey's kind of like having 7 other kids. Like you kind of have to be used to having the attention completely off of you or split. And I'm like, well, great, I'm an attention seeker already. What do you mean my attention's being shared now? And so I kind of had like a tough time at first, and then I grew to love her so much. Like I honestly, the bond I have with my sister is unbreakable. Like there's nothing that can stop that. And same with my brother.
Mhm.
It's a lot different because I mean he's got a little tood. I say he's definitely a stinker, but I love him so much because like we do have a good relationship, and I love that like as he's getting older I get to talk about things with him. Like I mean obviously I can't have like a conversation I'd have like with one of my friends with him, but like I get to talk about things with him, and he's very understanding, and he gets like emotional and like hurt for me. Like if one of my friends does something, I'll tell my brother about it. I'll just go sit in his room and I'll be like, dude, guess who did this? And he was like, oh, she did that to you?
He's defensive
How
of you.
dare she? And it's really cute. And then he'll tell me if anything's going on at school. Like he had a bit of an altercation not too long ago. A kid decided to put hands on him, and he's like, well, I pushed him back, but he punched me. It's like, I was in that situation too. I was like, you were defending yourself, but at the same time you do have to remember to take the high road. And I was like, 100% defending yourself, yes, that's gonna come first, but remember, you're the better person. You got to be the better person. You got to like rise up. What would God want? And we talked about that a little bit because everyone in my family is Catholic. So I think that makes it really easy because we're all on the same kind of like ground when it comes to religion. And so that makes it pretty easy. I wouldn't say like religion goes into everything, but because it's such like a mainstream, like a big topic, it makes it so much more helpful because then when I like want to say something that I learn about God or I read in the Bible, like I can say it to anyone in my family and no one's going to be offended or anything. They'll be like, oh great, like I already learned that, and then we talk about it, or oh I didn't know that, and then we talk about it, or they add on to what I was saying. I'm like, oh, I didn't think about it like that. And I really love that because I've tried over the past few years to grow a relationship with God, and it's been really hard. I've definitely been challenged over and over and over. Life has not been easy lately, I can say that, but that relationship that I've really grown with him has gotten a lot better because like I've had to push past things that I didn't even know that like I was capable of. I went through a really rough patch where I just was like, if anything worse happens right now, I cannot handle anymore. And then worse happened and I made it through it. So yeah.
And I'm glad with your relationship that you've grown. I think high school bringing young life into it, I think it's brought a lot of like really healthy spirited people around you, which I think is nice to see because I think in the faith that we share, we don't have as much of that community necessarily within our faith overall. But I feel like you've been able to branch out and you've developed some really, really close friends and relationships, and a lot of them are like various different religions.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I think that's awesome that we're able to like, I think religion's cool. I think it's really cool to learn about a lot of different religions and what people focus on. But you touched upon a point that I think you could even open up to more about. It might be kind of hard, but I know that we talked about this, I think even tonight. Yeah, we talked about it tonight a little bit. How we talked about how the closer you grow to God,
the harder
the more you get challenged. And that's kind of just like how we talk about where you feel like that's kind of like evil or devil or whatever pressing in and saying like, you know what, I don't want you to get any more closer because then I can't get your attention. And you definitely as a kid have gone through it for sure. And I think one of the things that you could open up a little bit about, if you're comfortable with, is how challenging it is to be that sibling that, I mean, when Journey was born, you had to be told at 10 years old that they didn't think she would make it longer than a week.
Yeah.
And there's been, I feel like for you, and you can speak for yourself, like about all these hills and valleys of it, we get to go through all these like celebrations, but it's not like your average family of where you celebrate different things. You celebrate like really, really minor things, and you're fearful of the worst all the time. Or I shouldn't say we try not to be, but how can you not? Like,
right.
The thought and just even having the conversation about the fact that she could die so realistically at any moment is hard, and it makes everything that you go through that much harder, because it's just like, okay, I already have this, God, like, why do I have to have this and this? Like, let me have my outlet, let me have my friendships, let me have this.
Speaking of friendships, this is kind of different, but I was thinking about it a lot. I guess this is more relatable than home stuff, because home stuff can kind of be hard to relate to because I have such a oddly specific situation. But I always thought that school would be that outlet that, like, I could go and I could just be friends with any person I want. And that's not true. It's like, it was like in high school, it's going to get better than in middle school because everyone's just awkward in middle school. And I don't feel like it's been like that for me. I feel like it's actually been pretty hard because, like, I don't know. I try to be nice to everyone, but I definitely have my moments for sure where I feel like every teenager kind of talks about their friends, not like your close friends, but like everyone talks about each other, and it gets really hard sometimes because I get uncomfortable when people talk about each other, and I don't know how to do anything but agree. Like, I try really, really hard to be that leader and that, like, that role model, because that's what I want to be. That's the person I've always tried to be. But I think it's definitely gotten harder as I've gotten older because, like, it's hard to have relationships with people that wouldn't do the same for you.
Yeah.
Because, like,
I feel that.
I know, like, people that I would literally, like, I would punch other people if somebody started talking badly about them. And I know that if it were the other kind of situation and they were talking about me, they'd kind of just, like, agree and join in. And, like, I feel like that's really hard because it's like, I don't like everything being one-sided, and it gets really hard because, I mean, you never know what's true because people lie a lot. And so it's hard to know what to believe, but I feel like friendships were always so easy for me when I was younger, and now it's really hard to maintain friendships. I think that's been, like, a really big struggle nowadays, especially with social media and things like that. And I think it's kind of, like, taken its toll on my entire generation, to be honest. And, like, it's kind of ironic because I have a podcast and I'm always on social media, so I know you're looking at me right now, you're probably flaming me in the comments. You're like, well, you are a social media person, why are you complaining about social media? But I don't think it's really the aspect of posting, because awareness, like just knowing about things and knowing that people are there and are in the same situations is really positive. It's really healthy, but it can also be super negative because then everything gets misconstrued. Everyone gets a label, a name, and they're like, and then they get so focused on that name. We were talking about this earlier, like, they put names on, like, different things that people struggle with, and then people, like, focus on those names so much. And it's just like, it's hard, and it's hard to go away from it because it is the generation that I am growing up in. And I feel like that's just how we manage and we deal with it, is through relating to other people. That's why it's a For You page. Those things, that's why they make it like that, is so it's for you.
Well, and you're also touching upon the fact that there's two sides to everything. So social media can be really impactful and good, but it can really have a lot of its negative stuff. And I've seen it as your mom. I've dealt with it from time to time. I've even asked from time to time, as you know, that I will peruse things from time to time because I feel like that's my responsibility as a parent. But there were, like, a couple things as your freshman year, I remember, where I was like, can I interject here because I don't like this message being sent? And you're like, okay. Like,
yeah, not from me, guys. It's from the other people. I send nice messages because I know it gets screenshotted. Thank you.
No, I was meaning that some people had sent some stuff that was
for sure,
super not kind. And it's like, you know, they call them keyboard warriors, or at least that's what, like, I know them as. Because
I don't
it's
think
like,
anyone calls
okay, well, I call it that because it's like they think they're all mighty and powerful from behind, but they don't have the guts to, like,
say it in person.
Speak in, to your face. Not that that would have been any nicer if they were doing it that way, but a lot more people will say things. And I think there's something to say too about, like, I think if I stepped outside of being your mom and could view you as an outsider, and I see you when you're out cheerleading under the Friday night lights, I see you when you're playing volleyball, I just see you in general, and you typically have this big smile on your face. You seem very happy-go-lucky. You look like the kind of kid that everything is going your way. Of course, I think you're absolutely stunningly beautiful.
Thanks.
But it's like sometimes, or I say most of the time, most of us view people differently than what they might be going through. Like, I know as your mom, you've gone through like a lot of inner turmoil, a lot of hard stuff. And some people don't have the depth or the bandwidth to like really know that you've been through a lot and come out on the other side of it. So I'm proud of you. Very, very proud of you. Okay, so we were talking about another side of you that people are less familiar of. I remember seeing you in cheer this year. You were in The Wizard of Oz as the monkey.
Yes, I
but
was.
I definitely remember lots of theatrics and art a
Middle
long
school.
time ago. What was
really
that like?
I really did love theater. I'm going to be so honest. I'm just going to say it. And I know y'all are going to say something about it, but I don't really care because I always have liked theater. I really got into acting since I was little because I've always been a drama queen. And I feel like I always have a good time because the thing about theatrics and just like acting in general is getting in like the feel of being another person. And I feel like that's so much fun to like carry a different persona and just be like a different version of yourself. Like you can't be someone who's outside of you because obviously you're still you, but like when you get to have a different persona and like different like feelings, different emotions, be louder, be quieter, like do weird stuff that you couldn't do in public. Like I feel like that's really fun because there is definitely a different side of me that not a lot of people see, and I definitely embraced that a lot more in middle school. I guess I was more confident in middle school, which is kind of weird to think about because you would think it would be the opposite. Usually you get more confident over time, but I feel like it's actually the opposite. And I struggle admitting that I like theater sometimes because, I don't know, people kind of get made fun of for it. And I think it's really messed up. Also really weird considering
it's a
Hollywood.
Weird stigma. Yeah, it's a
Hollywood,
weird stigma.
Hollywood, actors and actresses, how do you think they got there? Through doing theater and drama and school.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, those people and those kids were not made fun of. And the people who are made fun of are sometimes the coolest people that I'll ever meet. Like I have some friends who do theater right now. I'm like, dog, you're so cool. Like genuinely, you're such a cool person. Like you have so much to you that like all those people who don't get made fun of are really boring sometimes. I'm gonna be honest. Really boring.
They may have very well been picked on, and then it's like, look at them now kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or like you said, it's like giving them so much character to the characterization that they can do in things. It's giving them content.
Yeah.
That would be so cool to be able to take that, like, experiences you went through that were frustrating for you and then use it as content. Yeah. Be a cool outlet of that.
I feel like that's also something directors do in movies and stuff. They take something like the people who are trying to like do the touchy-feely movies, do things that they can relate to or something that they grew up on or something that a friend or family member went through. And that's what they kind of write their movie about, or they just make it up in their head because they want to escape their own reality. So, yeah.
I think like when you're talking about stigmas, I think another stigma is that like you're actually incredibly smart, but like you definitely have that aspect, which I did too, where you kind of do a little bit of that cheerleader role because it's not always looked at as being so great, being uber smart.
I'm really not street smart though. I'm not faking this, guys.
Yeah,
I just do not have common sense. I'm trying. I promise I am trying.
She doesn't have common sense. I think I've said that before.
I just don't understand like I don't know, basic social cues. That's one thing that I've definitely struggled with too, is like
I think that's
people would
know
know
too.
Yeah, people know when to stop talking and I don't know when to stop talking.
Okay, so moving though.
Yeah.
You've been Portland and then Salem, Dallas, all that. Where do you think, like, what did you identify most with?
Kaiser.
What area?
Kaiser.
Really?
Easily, hands down.
Kaiser KD. Why is that?
Well, one, I feel like it's just so family-like. Like, you can be friends with your neighbors. Like, You give each other cookies when somebody new comes into the neighborhood. I don't know, it feels like kind of old-timey, like very much community. Like Salem used to be like that, but now it's more like, I don't know, more busy. And like I feel like, I mean, yes, I was young, so yes, people changed, and I don't know how to feel about McNair kids because I don't know enough of them. But I feel like I definitely had like my best time, like my best era was in Kaiser, and that's because it was so relatable, and I really just liked everyone that I was around. Like, yeah, there's still issues, but like very minimal. And when there was an issue, like the whole community took care of it, and I think that's a lot better. And I did love Dallas, but it was strange. I will say that I lived there for a hot minute, and it was a lot different. Like I
think it was hard because
friendships
you were in an implant.
Huh?
You were an implant. In other words, you hadn't grown up there. It was one of those communities that was harder.
It is. It's kind of, you kind of have to like grow up there or have that certain kind of style to be understood there. And there's like an A and B group, and if you're not a C, you have to see yourself out. So it's like,
wow.
It's like, yeah. I also am a stand-up comedian. If you didn't know. And yeah, I don't know. Kaiser. I identify myself as Kaiser.
I definitely
What
felt
would
like
you
you
say?
had. Well, I feel like you definitely have a Portland vibe every time you're there because I think it's your style.
Oh,
you're very
Portland
style
sure.
kind of kid.
For sure.
But yeah, which did not. That was probably the worst thing that was not applicable when you lived in Dallas. I think that was what was hardest and what you got teased about. Because it's like
teased about wearing Jordans to school and dunks, and people would be like, "Ew, you're so gross." I'm like, these are like $300 shoes, bud. Like, what are you on? I'm sorry that I don't wear Hey Dudes. I know you own Hey Dudes. I'm not hating on Hey Dudes.
I do own Hey Dudes. I don't wear them very much anymore, but I did have a pair of hats.
I never got into that. I also made fun of Crocs so much, and now I have my Crocs, and I literally never
like
take
daily.
them off.
Yeah,
like literally never take them off.
Crocs them gators.
Also, like if I could be like a barefoot like warrior, I would. Like
barefoot warrior.
If not wearing shoes was normal, I would be the first to take off my shoes.
Okay, so then you need to see my friends in Eugene.
Oh my god,
they're definitely my barefoot warrior friends. So back to when we're talking a little bit about like your moving and stuff all over. You also though, moving might not have always been that fun, but you have been able to travel a lot. I don't know if people know how well traveled you are. It's pretty stinking crazy. Talk about your travels, girl.
I think I've been to, I don't know, somewhere in the 30s or 40s of states in the U.S. I've been to a crap ton of states. I've also been out of the country. I went to Bora Bora last summer. It was amazing. I clicked a button. Is that okay for me to click? Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna start over. Okay. I am really well traveled. I have gone to, I think, 30 or 40 different states, which is absolutely insane to say. I've also been outside of the country. I went to Bora Bora last summer. It was beautiful, very tropical. I've been to Hawaii a few times. Yeah, and I love talking about my traveling because it's so nice to see, like, not only different cultures, like, inside of the U.S., like, I would be so interested to see other countries because if the U.S. is so, like, different in different states, I really wonder what different countries are like. I really love traveling because I also got to do cheer across 27 of those states, and was able to visit those cheer gyms and just, like, enjoy something about every single different state. Like, it's not like we got to...
Top 5.
My top 5 states.
Top 5 states, if you can name them. States.
Texas.
Why?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just, it was Texas. It was really nice. It was big, and I loved the all-star cheer. It was amazing. And people had really funny personalities. Louisiana. Random one, but I really do love Louisiana and their seafood. It's just,
oh yeah, their food.
And the people, like, hospitality is just a huge thing over there, and just, like, it was amazing. Just get to know people over there. Third, if there wasn't weather involved, Florida. I really, really liked Florida.
Wow.
I just really didn't like the humidity, and we did suffer while we were there the first go round, but my second go round to Florida was amazing. I really loved it. I went for a tournament, and obviously I wasn't there for super long, but it was really fun to be over there. My fourth state, I almost want to say Kentucky, but I'd probably say Kentucky. Again, kind of the same reasons. There's not really much to do over there, but like, I don't know. And then the last one's between California and Tennessee.
I was gonna say you was a Nashville girl.
I really liked
Surprised
Nashville. I
Jana.
loved the country music. Don't kill me, Ryder. I loved like the live music. It just made me feel like so. I don't know. Seen.
Yeah, but Nashville, what we talked about, it was like
all the
like
lights. I really want
better
to do
Las
it.
Vegas. Like
It is like
Las
a better
Vegas.
Las Vegas.
I don't.
Oh, I
Nashville,
love
yeah, I
Las
know you do.
Vegas.
I
I
don't.
really, really love Las Vegas, but I think it's also because the times that I've been really, really not aware.
Yeah,
Because I've been younger. But I don't
when
know.
you got to do just cool
like
stuff
Circus
in Vegas.
Circus and
You did
walk the
that.
strip.
Remember that like that boat ride for your birthday too in the
Yeah.
Venetian?
He sang.
So
Okay, speaking of this, that was my first episode of Derealization. I know I talked about giving things names earlier, but this is a real thing. It's like an outside of body thing, or where you feel like you are dreaming. And I remember that whole time, I didn't know what being high was like. I still don't know, but like I felt like I was high. I didn't feel like I was there. Like I was just like. Like nothing felt real, but it was so like calming. I was like there, and I was just there, but I wasn't like me there. And then like how warm it was, like the temperature, I just felt like so out of it. In the Venetian, the place.
went into derealization.
Derealization.
All right, so you said 5
experience.
states, your top 5 states that you've been to. Now, you said you've only been to Bora Bora out of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the top 5 places
Countries that I want to
that
go
you
to?
want to go to?
Countries
Go.
specifically?
I guess you could say a continent if you wanted to, but then that doesn't really.
No,
pin it
I was
down.
saying
I'd say
like
countries.
states or countries. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
countries.
state
Yeah.
of confusion. It's
Yeah,
where
well,
I
you
always
don't have very many states that you haven't been to, so I think countries is going to be
Okay. Well, I really want to go to New York, but I am going there in the springtime. I'm really
without
excited
me.
about
Without me.
that. I really want to go to Italy.
Oh heck yeah.
Also, wait, I'm gonna sound really. No, I no.
Just kidding. I just kinda...
I really want to go to France, and I want to go to Japan. I know you don't, but I really want to go to Japan. Like,
I mean,
think-
it just wouldn't be in my top 5. I wouldn't be.
I want to go to those little cat cafes. Have you seen a cat cafe before?
No.
Okay, so basically you're just like drinking coffee or tea or whatever you want, and there's like hundreds of cats, and they're just in there. and
basically
they're just
like an alleyway in
it's
any
so
major city in the U.S.
No,
That is like not well.
they're like,
kept.
pampered. Obviously, they're clean, and it's just and then all
Clean
the
cats.
technology over there is so advanced, and I just want to say it looks cool. So that's 3. Specifically Tokyo, like in Japan, like the busy city. I think it'd be cool.
Okay, in your past life, what anime was your jam?
I really did love Naruto though. I made it all the way to Shippuden and I didn't finish it, but I really did like it. Mom hated it because she didn't understand it.
Like, I don't. Okay, you gotta explain. Can you at least like? Do you think you can go back in time?
Oh
and
no, I
explain
got
to
this.
me
I got this.
What it is the appeal? Because I have tried
Okay.
to watch it, and I'm just like. But I also like things that are like real. I don't like cartoons as much.
That's
like your
fair.
sister. So
That's
maybe
fair.
that might be part of the disconnect
for
me.
sure.
I don't know.
Well, for me, one, it was a relation thing. Like a lot of my friends watched anime at the time because in middle school, I had a very diverse friend group. I love all of them, and still to this day, I miss you guys so much. But they started watching anime, so I was like, okay, like let's see what this is about. I didn't really feel super into it, and then I tried it. I think the first episode, I'm like, oh, this is weird, and then I kind of just got into the series, and there was just so much into it. It was kind of like, I would say it's like very adventurous, and I think that's what I was into at the time, is because like it was thing after thing. Like there was never like a boring episode where it was just like, okay, They're like sitting there doing nothing. Like there was always something happening, and so it made you want to watch the next episode.
Fair.
So like it was very like once you got into it, and it makes sense. The hard part about anime is there's a lot of like, honestly, I wouldn't recommend most anime. I'm not saying all, because anime is a genre. It's not like one specific show or movie or anything like that. But I wouldn't really recommend it for younger kids, because it does like involve a lot of sexual things and a lot of inappropriate or violent behaviors, and I wouldn't recommend that to anyone. I would say probably under 12. Thank you guys all for watching and joining us today. Thank you, Mom, for interviewing me. It was odd to be on the other side of the mic, but it was really fun and I really enjoyed it, so thank you. So please subscribe, hit that like button, comment your favorite food if you're still watching this video. Thank you. Bye-bye.